Well, that's the modern meta narrative, isn't it? The shopping centre, the shopping mall, that becomes the meeting place, and cinema, the meeting place, whereas all the old Christian symbols have lost their meaning.
To be aren't we on a journey though where originally stained glass window, things that we've sort of derided, the stained glass window, the story was told to illiterate people by the light coming through the glass and illuminated the story. The silver and gold in the church was to give your very best to God. As that got corrupted over time, it was rejected. Along comes the Reformation, horrible simplification. Strip the altars, and in many ways what I think we've done in many Protestant churches is as we strip the altars and throw out the sacraments, particularly in the last 20 or 30 years, we've replaced it with a sacrament of preaching, which in my view is no sacrament at all. And sort of along the way, I think in such reaction against what we saw as corrupt structures and symbols, we cleansed and cleansed and cleansed, and then along...
So this ties into a friend's conversation
yes.
too, because this constant claims, and it could be just another layering of fraudulence, or an opportunity to create. You know, you've got an unchecked innovation, but
it was well intended.
Well, maybe we don't know.
And yet there's always that appreciation of beauty. It's interesting. See, a number of people walk into the chapel here with no religious background and just sort of go, and you know, this was designed brilliantly like 40 years ago, well, for my time here, and people go, oh, isn't this just beautiful? This is so meaningful, because you use a lot of the symbols but in a more sort of modern way. And it's quite interesting people will respond to it. In fact, there's a lovely article, a little article in the Sydney Morning Herald yesterday that, you know, Peter Fitzsimons, who's a bit of a rugby buffhead, but he has his other side as well. And he said, he gives a story about the cricket commentator, I think, Arlott, who's commentating, and it's just silence. And the camera pours around and there's a big concrete box of a building. And it pans around, there's a cathedral there, and Arlott just says, that's the difference between design and architecture.
I'm really pleased this conversation has gone into, however we went there, into traditional environments and their change, contemporary change, and how the acceptance that media is just another form of environment. And McLuhan was the one that redefined the word medium to include. McLuhan and Innes just redefined it, so they put modern media in an historical framework that went to the beginnings of human culture. It's really good to realise that religion, before mass media, wasn't pure or natural in any, it was always mediated by the spaces and the practices. And this is, the question is, do any of those practices match certain intensities or moments that were at the beginning of the tradition? Or should we constantly be referring to those in the 21st century? Can we refer to benchmarks of community in the first century? You know, you've got every reason to ask, should we be doing that? But I'm doing it. I still think that those documents can challenge us.
Two more questions, I think. We've got maybe two over there, haven't spoken.